All right, so I have all my wires all taped up and insulated. Everything, yeah, see, I put all my grounds down here. This right here was the constant power for the printer and for the police computer. Actually, for everything, had a master switch on it with lots of stuff splitting off of it. I am going to disconnect it at the battery, and I'm just going to leave it in here. I did run some extra ignition feeds for other accessories. I do have in my trunk. I'm going to show you what I did. But first, I'm just going to show you that all this stuff fits. Your police VSIM module, you just leave it right in here. It fits nice and snug. Had I had it to do over again, I would go ahead and I would have moved this fog light switch a little further to the left, and I would have scooted over the flashing headlights and tail lights farther over to the right. And but everything fits. You just kind of have to stick your fingers down in here and wiggle everything around to where it'll kind of work into place. I have everything insulated really well. If you don't have power to something, or you arc your wires together, in your under hood fuse box, that's where all your accessory power is. But everything works on this. I got all the functions of this. Everything lights up. The back here, all this stuff, everything lights up. Everything works well. Fits nice. I did put the bigger screen in here from the civilian charger. I replaced the airbag clock spring. It was worn, had airbag light on. Got that from a car with 79,000 miles, and it works great. Got a newer steering wheel from another car that was wrecked. I've had it for about 2 years, and I was just waiting for a car to use it on. We have, I painted this. I didn't like the finish on it, so I painted. I sandblasted, and primered, and painted it, and I like the color. This panel here, it used to have a gear shifter going through it, so I just fiberglassed it. I used the short hair fiberglass and bondoed it, sanded it down. It actually took quite a while to do. It's not a fast and easy project, but the alternative is the factory police cup holder, which is $155, and I thought, well, I have the material already. Let me go ahead and make one of these things, or just modify it to where it'll look pretty good. When we go under the hood, I'll show you where the fuses are. When you blow these fuses out, we'll go under the hood. Go under the hood. And in here, you can see inside your fuse panel, everything's different. You have your police feeds right here, your 6, 7, and 8. No, your 7 and 8, correction. Yep, 7 and 8 are your police ignition feed 1 and 2. And you go down to 21 through 24. And those are your police battery feed. Those are your direct powers. These are your ignitions right here. All right, and there's lots of different stuff that these cars have, like relay police ignition feed, relay police ignition feed 3. Lots of police stuff. The fuse box in the trunk has a lot of different stuff too. Show you that. All right, guys, let me show you what I got going on back here in the trunk. All right, I went to O'Reilly Auto Parts and I bought this dual 12-volt power outlet, and all I did was run a hot wire to the constant power in the center console, which stays on all the time. Now that is the only power outlet I have that's all the time. I bought it for my Coleman mini fridge, and if you want to put a phone back here, something that you don't want anybody to see, this will stay hot. And I just self-grounded it. I just grounded it off on the body. It works great. It has these little caps, not the best caps, but they work. And show you what I did under here. You know, I taped up the other end of the wire. When you buy one of these, this is where the power goes in to the center console. It goes to this big lug right here, this bus bar right here. So just tuck this out of the way, and this, you just close it right back up. This thing will close, got a little strap that kind of hooks down. I'll mess with that later. I'll mess with that later. There was other extra wires too, just that little winding of wires right there for something. I left that in the front, so if I ever sell this thing, somebody wants to hook stuff up, it still has that wire that runs up to the center console. In the fuse box in the trunk here, the only thing that really stands out that is police would be your constant power for your battery power for your driver's side spotlight and the wire for the passenger side spotlight, because it is all there. That's the only difference here on the trunk. So set this back in place. That and the fact that there's lots of options this car I guess didn't come with. So there's lots of blank spaces. A lot of blank spaces. So we'll go around here and I'm going to show you what I replaced. All this stuff here. I used to have this small screen in here. This just unsnaps. And you don't have a whole lot of... I thought that the bigger screen might not work because this stereo only has a couple plugs and the new stereo had loads but had several more plugs. But I'm sure there's a difference in the weight. This console here is pretty heavy. It's the big Havas console. My wife didn't like where the cup holder was located, which is like directly under the armrest, which is horrible for putting drinks. And go over here. This is all the electrical that was under there. Got this big master switch that attaches to that big cable I just showed you in the trunk. Giant fuses. I took this from my old retired police car, and I pretty much get, if one of these winds up in the salvage yard, I try to get as much as I can. I replaced the steering wheel. As you can see, the steering wheel is really worn out. I don't know if you could see that, but this car got a lot of use. I bought it with 130,000 miles. It was a K9 unit. It has a lot of hours, but it runs great. It doesn't use oil. So we'll go in here. Oh yeah, these clock springs. The clock springs on these cars, they're different than the old Dodge Chargers. These have the electric power steering pump, and I got the entire electric power steering pump from the car in the salvage yard for like $20. I might have paid a little bit more for the core, but these are really easy to change, these modules. But the only thing is, like, I went to the U-Pull-It yard, and that's why I tied this in a knot. I bought this for like $29 in the U-Pull-It yard, and I didn't pay the extra money for the warranty, but that's okay because I'm going to take it apart. The only thing you need for tools is you have this big bolt right here. That's this V10 Allen head, and then you have these little torque screws to get to the back of the airbag, which are the T20s. You have a little plastic cover on the back side of the steering wheel. Just pop those two off, and that airbag's going to get out of your way. And then you'll be able to get to that bolt. And when you remove this, you've just got one plug in the back right there. And you see all those windings in there. It was really funny because this one here was so bad. When I replaced it, the donor car that I got all these other parts from, this was so bad, and I verified this at the Dodge dealer, that this will affect the steering of the vehicle. My steering wheel was binding at times. I drove it for like 2 days with that on there, and the steering wheel was binding because it does have that electric power steering pump. It was binding. So the airbag light was on and that problem, whereas when I bought the car, this problem had started happening, I'd say at 140,000 miles, and I just hadn't changed it till now. This one, only the airbag light was on. So there's just a break in one of these bands. In the band here, where it's just a copper winding, there's just it has copper on that little pad that rotates. I'm going to take that apart. We'll check that out. We'll try to fix it, see what we can do with it. But I lucked out. And oh yeah, it even came with this free bottle of Armor All. It was all the way full. The car came with it. I'm gonna go inside here. We'll show you what we did here. Okay, I changed this clock spring, and This steering wheel came from another car, from like a 2014, and it had low mileage. It was rear-ended. I wasn't lucky enough to get the clock spring off of that one, so I had to wait. This clock spring has 79,000 miles. It came off of a police car, and I was lucky enough to get it for, like, I paid $80 or $85 for it. And when I updated the screen, I couldn't get over the fact that it had this shiny material. I don't know, the finish was shiny. It's plastic, and they put some sort of aluminum over the top of it. So what I did was I sandblasted it down. I sanded it and sandblasted it, and I painted it the same color as this. And first I used bumper and trim paint. I didn't like it, and I redid this. This used to say park neutral and drive on it and all that. I fiberglassed it and ground it down, bondoed it a couple times, sanded it. It took a long time, but I didn't want to pay $155. I was trying to do it cheap. I don't want to spend the money to get the change holder that comes on the upgraded police package. But I've got everything hooked up in here. You can see I made the cutouts. I cut out for the fog lights, which is on my ignition power, and these right here, these are constant power. Those are actually the police wiring right there. And I need to put something over that so they can't be accidentally switched on. I'm going to try that. If you notice, I changed this right here. The normal climate control only has the off. It doesn't have the auto button on the knob, so that's different. I changed that. That's easy. It plug and play. This right here, whatever wires plug into it, that's it. I mean, you just plug stuff in until it fits, and it's going to work. It might take a little while. Mine took a couple hours for it to even start working. And then I had to have my friend help me get it out of, it was in Spanish. But this I really like this Rust-Oleum paint. I clear coated it. And oh yeah, I bought this off eBay. I bought this leather cover. I use 1/4 inch 6mm staples. And you just take this back piece off here. And you just pry all the old staples out. And this is real leather. And you just start from the front, work your way back, and you can only use 1/4 inch staples. They're the only ones that don't bend. But little 1/4 inch staples. I went to Walmart. The only ones I could get were in a kit, and I got plenty of them. Everything. Okay, so these are my fog lights here, and I cut this in with a razor blade and the rubber, and I used my Dremel to cut it in through the plastic. And I like how they're set up. I got my fog lights over here out of the way, or I'm not going to accidentally turn on these police lights that had been deactivated, which I think are pretty cool. I just thought that if the car could do it, why not have it, as long as I don't use them on the road. So this is connected to my ignition power. These are my constant power police circuit that is under the hood. I'll show you how those work here. Go around here first in front. Well, the car's dirty right now, but you can see the high beam headlights, and it's kind of hard to see out here right now. The high beams do blink, alternate back and forth. You go around here to the back, and these tail lights, I think that's really cool. The tail lights do alternate back and forth. So, yeah, I just thought that was neat to have.